YouTube? Thanks for checking out the Film Geek. Today I'm wrapping up my Legends of Horror week, and I'm going to be doing my final spotlight film on John Carpenter. And today I'm doing my all-time favorite John Carpenter horror film, In the Mouth of Madness. In the Mouth of Madness is starring In the Mouth of Madness pays tribute to horror writer H.P. Lovecraft, with many references to his stories and his themes. The opening scene depicts Trent, played by Sam Neill, confined to an asylum for the bulk of the story told in flashback, a common technique of Lovecraft. The film can also be seen as referencing Stephen King, who, like Lovecraft, writes horror fiction set in New England. In fact, the characters do compare Sutter King to Stephen King in the film, unfavorably that is. In the Mouth of Madness was released in the States February 3rd, 1995, and it grossed just about $9 million on a $14 million budget. The film didn't really find its audience. Critics also were a bit divided on the film, and it's currently sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at a 58%. But it does have an audience score of 74%, which I believe makes it a bona fide cult classic. So what do I like about this movie? Well, I like the weird way the movie's told. I like the fact that the movie starts at the end, and then pretty much everything is told within flashbacks from Sam Neill's character Trent from that point on. I also like the fact that you never really know if you're in the real world or if you're in the book world. You jump back and forth so often that it's sometimes hard to follow where you're going. It doesn't get confusing, it just sometimes you don't know, and that kind of adds to the fear, is you never really know if you're in the real world, if you're in the world of madness. You know, Sam Neill's character is just kind of slowly going insane as the film progresses, so it really becomes hard to trust the narrator of this film. The practical effects in this film are outstanding, and they actually aged well for the film. They do help the movie give it a timeless look. It doesn't have to depend on outdated special effects that you go, okay, you know what, I know this looks a little rough, but believe me, for its time it was amazing. The special effects in this film still hold up today and will still scare the ever-living hell out of you. The monsters are very Lovecraftian, and there's even a little freaky body horror thrown into this film. This movie is another one of those films that demands a second viewing. Not because it's complicated, because you're going to notice things that you did not see the first time you watched this movie. You're trying to take in so much that's going on in the movie that you miss a lot of things. I'm not talking about, again, the movie being confusing. It's just that it has a really good mystery at its core, so you're mostly paying attention to the way things are unfolding in the mystery. You're not paying so much attention to the surroundings and symbolism and things of that sort. So that's why it's always good to go back and give the movie a second shot, and then you could try to sit there and figure out whether or not you're in the dream world or the real world or whatever. So if you're curious and you want to watch a mind-bending, scary, weird movie from the mind of John Carpenter, then you should check out In the Mouth of Madness. You can currently find In the Mouth of Madness for rent on YouTube, Google, Vudu, and Amazon Prime. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of another Film Geek video. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications so you know when I put another one of these videos up, and give me a thumbs up so I know you like what you're watching. And if there's another thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.